Have you been wondering when you're supposed to use a hypothesis versus a research question? In fact, what are those? And how do you distinguish them? Well, in this video, we teach you 2 easy steps to understand the difference between hypotheses and research questions. So if you have 7 minutes, we'll break it down for you. Hey, it's Dr. Pamela Kreiser here at the Research Methods Crash Lab. We're here not only to help you survive your methods class, but we're here to help you thrive. Now, if you hate math, you've come to the right place, because here at the Crash Lab, we're ready to help everybody. Let's head into the lab. After you complete your research, the review of literature, you need to determine if you want to do research questions and/or hypotheses. Now, this decision depends on which variables you are intending to measure, as well as what you know about these variables based on your research. So given the research, are you asking a question about a variable, or are you making a prediction? As you make this decision, you will notice that research questions and hypotheses differ in their structure as well as their level of prediction. The first dimension is structure. Very simply, a research question is phrased as a question. A hypothesis is phrased as a statement. The second dimension is whether you're making a prediction or not. Now that we know the 4 available choices that are broken down in terms of structure and prediction, let's examine these options. 2 types of research questions and 2 types of hypotheses. So first, let's talk about research questions. There are 2 types of research questions, directional and non-directional. Both are phrased as questions, obviously. A directional research question makes a prediction in the phrasing, while a non-directional question does not make a prediction in the phrasing. An example will help us understand the difference between these 2 types. A directional research question sounds like this: are children significantly more talkative than adults? Here you can see the directionality is predicted in how the question is phrased. The question phrasing reflects the researcher's guess that children will be more talkative. The word more makes this apparent. A non-directional research question sounds like this: will children and adults differ significantly in their talkativity? You can see that in this non-directional research question, there is no directionality indicated. The question phrasing reflects the researcher's openness to either group being more or less talkative. The word differ makes this apparent. Now let's discuss hypotheses. There are 2 types of hypotheses, one-tailed and two-tailed. Both are phrased as statements. A one-tailed hypothesis makes a specific prediction, while a two-tailed hypothesis makes a prediction but not a specific one. An example will help us understand the difference between these 2 types. A one-tailed hypothesis sounds like this: children will be significantly more talkative than adults. Here you can see the directionality is predicted in how the hypothesis is phrased. The hypothesis phrasing reflects the researcher's prediction that children will be more talkative. The word more makes this apparent. A two-tailed hypothesis sounds like this: children and adults will differ significantly in their talkativity. You can also see that in the two-tailed hypothesis, there is not a specific direction indicated. There is a predicted difference, but it doesn't specify which group will be higher or lower. The word differ makes this apparent. As we put all of this together, we can see that the 4 types can be differentiated in terms of their structure and prediction. Let's look at a few examples. Example number 1. Married individuals will engage in conflict significantly less frequently than those not married. Which type is this? Well, first we look at the structure and notice that this is a statement, and so we determine it's a hypothesis. Second, we examine the level of prediction, and we notice that the prediction uses the word less, and therefore it's a one-tailed hypothesis. Example number 2. Will married individuals engage in conflict significantly more often than those not married? What is the answer? Well, first we look at the structure and we notice it's a question. So we determine it's a research question. And second, we examine whether it predicts or not. And we notice that it does make a prediction using the word more, and therefore it's a directional research question. Example number 3. Students will differ significantly in the number of questions they ask compared to teachers. Which one is this? Well, first we look at the structure and we notice it's a statement and therefore a hypothesis. Second, we look at the level of prediction and notice that it doesn't make a specific prediction and is therefore a two-tailed hypothesis. Example number 4. Will students differ significantly in their frequency of asking questions compared to teachers? What's the answer? Well, first we look at the structure and notice it's a question, so it's a research question. And we look at whether it predicts, and it doesn't make a prediction, so it's therefore a non-directional research question. So now we can see how structure and prediction affects whether we have a hypothesis or a research question. It's simple. It just comes down to looking at structure and then prediction, and then we can know the difference between all 4 of these types. When you think about what decision you make as a researcher, it all comes down to how bold you're willing to be. Based on your research, based on your reading, what have you found out, and how bold are you willing to be? And if you have a good reason to be bold, then you can vary the structure and prediction level in your hypotheses and research questions. Now, earlier in this video, we promised to give you a strategy to help you improve your test scores. So you ready to take the next step? You can access our Quiz Me videos using the link here. Well, thanks for watching. And if you like what you saw, make sure you hit that like button down below, and we'll see you in the next one.